Hello everyone, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Today I'm going to be doing a tour of my collection room. A lot of action figures, mainly Figuarts, Mafex, some Figma, tiny little bit of Black Series and a little bit of Lego too. This is a room as a whole. I'll be going through each cabinet and then showing you what I've got. Some Dragon Ball. So yeah, I will start this way. First shelf I've got the boys. Your Butcher, the exclusive Homelander. I was able to get that from the Indian game. There's some of the 7 so far. Waiting for A-Train, Soldier Boy, Starlight. Dropping down here, I've sort of made like a bit of a game shelf. So I've got the new DBZ Arkham Knight Batman there. Awesome figure. Followed by the Lim Toys Joel and Ellie. Figma Dead Space. It's Isaac Clarke. The Figuarts Ninja Turtles, they're a placeholder there. I've got the Mario figures coming, so I'm going to add them in there, and this can be like a bit of an evolution of video games. And then the Jin Sakai from Figma as well, Ghost of Tsushima. Down here I've got the Jakks Pacific 5-inch Simpsons line. Pretty neat figures, to be fair. Struggling in the UK to get any more than Wave 3. I'm not sure if I'll continue this line, depends on the pre-orders that Depends on the pre-orders that we're getting. Over here's the Modo King Tumbler. It's a model kit. It's a great figure, a great piece even. I've got the Figuarts Batman inside. All lights up. Up here is the Manipul Walter White or Heisenberg, and then Jesse and Walt as well with the Meth Lab kit. I've got that's a Bandai figure. That Vecna. I can't remember what they're called, but it's a Stranger Things. The scale's a bit all over the place with them, but I figured he looked good. There's the Figuarts Stone Cold Steve Austin Undertaker. Probably say 2 of the strongest figures out of that line, so I've kept them there. And then there's some Squid Game figures as well, sort of like a TV sort of section. Moving up, I've got like my action movie figures here, or just figures from the 80s as well. I've got the Figuarts Bruce Lee, RoboCop, Battle Damage version and normal version. John Wick, that's the first movie. I want to get the upgraded black suit one from chapter 3, and then Terminator 1. Over there I've got the Figuarts Monster Art, Xenomorph big chap. Looking for a new figure to replace that, to be honest. It's not the tallest or anything like that. SHF Indiana Jones, great figure. Beetlejuice, great figure. Deadpool, great figure. And then the Terminator 2 battle damaged and just clean look with him sticking his hand out. Always makes me cry at the end. Looking forward to the next Terminator figures that we're going to be getting coming up. John Connor and the T-1000. Here is my DCU stuff, particularly the Snyderverse stuff here. I've got the entire Justice League there. The upgraded Zack Snyder Justice League versions from Mafex, and the Figuarts Wonder Woman, because they've not released her yet. Looking forward to the LPZZ Batman vs Superman version of Batman. Armoured version and Bruce Wayne there. And then the Figuarts Suicide Squad figures there. My mind went blank then. Dropping down now, a bit more of the mixed bag that was the DCU. I've got the Shazam from Mafex. Aquaman and Mera there. I'm waiting on the new Mafex Aquaman to go with them. The Figuarts Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. Again, waiting for Bloodsport and Peacemaker to come out. Wonder Woman 84. Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn as well. And then the Mafex Black Adam. Movie that went nowhere. And here's the Dark Knight trilogy. Again, I've got the Figuarts Joker along with the Mafex Two-Face. Modo King Bat Signal. Figuarts Catwoman with the Figuarts Tumbler. The In-Art 112 Batman, which is an amazing figure. I highly recommend it to anyone who can get it. Mafex Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul, and the Mafex Bane. And again, waiting on In-Art 112 to just tackle this whole trilogy, to be honest. This is the Modo King Flash Bat Cycle, and then the model kit Batman on there as well. I just got them because I like having accessories for Batman. I like Ben Affleck's Batman as well, so I decided to just get as many things as I can for him. And that I think is the 89 tumbler. It's just a 89 Batmobile. Sorry, it's just a car that was given to me when a relative passed away. So because he collected too. This is my Dragon Ball display. I'll zoom out first. Start up the top. I'll start with the Saiyan Saga. We've got Yamcha. I used the superhero version of Piccolo to protect Gohan. It's an iconic moment. Goku ready for war. The Saiyans there. Little Cyberman. And then Tien and Chaozu. I'll come to that one next. Next into Namek. I've got Team 3-star. Suppose there. Goku and Frieza in the final battle, along with Frieza and his first two goons. And the other forms of Frieza. We need an updated version of Final Form. And Bulma with the Dragon Radar. And this is one of my favourite displays here. I've got the Ginyu Force with Goku ready to just clap all of them. And then Vegeta, 24,000 power level, just smashing Kui. Moving to the Android Saga. Dr. Gero just murking Yamcha. Piccolo just watching it all. Android 19. Trunks serving people up, serving Frieza up, and King Cold on display with Krillin doing the Destructo disc. This is into the Cell Saga. A lot of figures need upgrading here, to be honest. We've got Gohan's about to see red. They need upgrading, the androids 16, 17, and 18. Imperfect Cell, the very first form. Father-son Kamehameha, awesome moment. Can't wait for that new Goku coming out next month. Tien doing his tri-beams. And then Super Vegeta and his son Trunks. I've got a set of DragonBallz there. Along with the SDCC 2024 exclusive Goku, Flying Nimbus and Gohan. And then this one has had some upgrades this week. I've just got the Black Hole Toys Margin Vegetas in. They are awesome, and I highly recommend picking them up. Great Saiyaman there, Fat Boo, Evil Boo, Gotenks, and then this is the Neo Kong, I think, no, Beast Deities or Neo Kong Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I picked that up off AliExpress. Massive upgrade on the other one. It's just unfortunately it doesn't really stand very well, but it's worth it. He's on a stand there, and the stand's resting against the glass case. But yeah, great figure. Looks awesome. Can't wait for Figuarts to tackle it again. Hopefully make like a hollow hairpiece so that it stands better. And then the last one I've done is my movies. This has been filled up. Not long started getting into the third-party figures, but I've got the Demoniacal Fit Gogeta there. I picked that over Tonson just because the hair matches the new Super Saiyan forms. Bardock. Trunks with the Battle Damage version. Battle Damage Goku. And then the villains so far that we've received from the films. Metal Cooler, Turles. Final Form Cooler. And then Broly. That Beast Deities Broly is awesome as well. Yeah, this display, I've seen a lot of cool displays that show a lot of awesome stuff. I do want to get dioramas, and I need to start adding razors to just raise them, and flight stands as well to just give them more action and really showcase the posability of them. But it's just cost at the moment, so along with a lot of other pre-orders, it's hard to keep on top of. Over here, some books. Again, these Batman vehicles are all across the top here. These were given to me after a relative died. He collected them all. Books, there's my cat that died. Some trophies, none of this is important. I'll come over here to the Lego. I collect Lego, but it's more so gifts off people, but I've done a bit of an original trilogy section here. So the helmet Darth Vader, the hallway scene from well, it's a New Hope this is, but it's a nice set, nice build, and then that's my favourite jewel in all the Star Wars, to be fair. Coming down here, again, the 25th anniversary Millennium Falcon, a Batmobile, just because I had no space to put it there. Some little minifigures. Got the Sith Infiltrator, Darth Maul, Qui-Gon and Anakin. Some of these robot things with Darth Vader, Boba and the Stormtrooper. Mandalorian helmet, Saw Gerrera, some of the Mandalorian stuff. And a little bit of clones and Clone Wars stuff. I'll probably try and get a Lego set for down here to maybe have the 212 battalion. But yeah, man, they look cool. I'm happy with them. And I'll come over here now and start on the MCU stuff. So at the top, just some pictures that people have given me over the years. Ray Park's signature. Some signatures and pictures I picked up. That's the Mafex Black Panther throne with the Fantastic Four cup from going to see the film. Here we've got the Infinity War, mainly SH Figuarts display. War Machine, Gamora, Scarlet Witch. That's a SH Figuarts Bucky with a Manipple head sculpt on. That's the Mafex Black Panther. Looks awesome. And then this is the SH Figuarts Captain America with the Mafex Captain America head and shields on. I didn't quite like the proportions of the Mafex. I thought it was too bulky. And I didn't like how his arms stood still, but I thought putting these together makes them look perfect. So it's a bit of a win there. Thanos. I got these stands. I don't know if you can see them from Teamy, I think it was. They're like makeup stands, but they work well to make elevated poses and sort of like the Marvel posters. That was my inspiration. And then he's the main hero of Infinity War, Thor. That scene where he lands on Earth is awesome. So I've put him and Rocket next to each other. And that's Team Titan there, really. Spider-Man, Star-Lord and Iron Man. Doctor Strange at the top. That's the Mafex version. And I'll put the Ronin in there just because he wouldn't really fit in my Infinity War display. In my Endgame display, sorry. Coming over here, this is my Endgame display. Tried to put everyone into it. So we've got, from right to left, Nebula, Rescue, War Machine, Battle Damage Thanos. Here's the core Avengers and Captain Marvel and Spider-Man. That's the SH Figuarts Iron Man. Again, I want to upgrade a lot of these to Mafex, but I'm not paying the inflated Mafex prices for Thor, Iron Man and Captain America now. So if they get reissued, I'll pick them up. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Hulk, terrible head sculpt on that. I wish that Manipple did a new head sculpt for that Hulk. And then there's the final battle. Scarlet Witch again. Coming down here, this is sort of like my phase 1 display. So I've got Iron Man, where it all began. Chronologically, Captain Marvel, she's the first Avenger, if you listen to that film. Infinity War version of Thanos, or Infinity Saga version. That's how I sort of wanted him to appear in the final film with the gauntlet and all the armour. Would have been awesome. Got Captain America, Black Widow, Thor. This is the main crew. Nick Fury and Hawkeye. Great likeness on that Hawkeye. And then Loki there. This display is a bit of a mess, really. Sort of need a Age of Ultron reboot, but there's the War Machine, some Civil War figures. That's the Revoltech Ultron, actually, which is, I think, the best version of Ultron at this moment from the MCU. Mark 44 Iron Man, Black Widow. That's the Infinity War SH Figuarts Thor, which I thought would fit in well here. I've got some Ragnarok stuff there. And some Iron Man 3. A bit of a clustered shelf, but it will do for now. And then this is sort of phase 5, really. So I've got Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We only ever seem to get these two from Guardians films. Black Widow film. Multiverse of Madness. That's the Falcon and the Winter Soldier set. Ant-Man and Quantumania, that's from Figuarts as well. And then Deadpool and Wolverine. They're decent figures. I've got the Mafex on pre-order, but their Wolverine disappointed me. I kind of wanted the sleeveless look and the mass head and a clean look, just so we could do what Hot Toys have done with their Wolverine. Captain Marvel, SH Figuarts, their Thor and Jane Foster. Shang-Chi, which is a great underrated film if you ask me. And then the Eternals is there, which is mid. And then the last MCU shelf, or Marvel shelf, this is my Spider-Man display. I've got the Green Goblin and the Final Swing Spider-Man. Carnage with the Mafex Venom on pre-order. And I just recreated the rooftop scene for the 3 Spider-Men. I was going to get the Mafex figures and have them doing the mean pose of them all pointing at each other. But I'll just save this for any other figures that I'll pick up. And I'm not a great big Spider-Man fan, to be fair. I like his films, but I'm not a big fan. Let's turn these lights off to this chair. Then starting my main SH Figuarts Star Wars display. This is my bag. I love Star Wars, but here's the SH Figuarts Ahsoka and Anakin, followed by 2 of the 4 Black Series figures I own, which is Cad Bane and Black Chrysanthemum, and the SH Figuarts Boba Fett, which is an underrated figure. I pre-ordered that. I didn't really have any hopes for it, but it turned out way nicer than I thought it was going to, even though the series was awful. SH Figuarts Kenobi series, Obi-Wan and Vader, and then they're the Mandalorian displays. This is sort of like a TV show for Marvel. I'm going to put something in the centre when we get the next set. Moving over here, this is my Mandalorian display. So there's the Luke Armourer, Heavy Infantry Mando, which is Paz Vizsla, I think his name is now. Boba Fett on the throne from the end of season 2. IG-11, the SH Figuarts season 3, Mando and Grogu, and the Mafex Bo-Katan, with the chrome Mafex Mando, which I won in a waffle from the Don't Tell My Wife group. Shout out to Kaiju Daddy and all those guys running it over there. And then the season 2 Mando. I would upgrade the Mandalorians to the Mafex versions if they'd have done a Mafex Durasteel version, which they haven't yet, but if they do, I'll start looking at that. And then we'll start at the top here with where it all began. Here's my SH Figuarts New Hope display. I got the those 2 Mafex figures, Stormtrooper Han and Luke with Leia. I won those again in the waffle with Kaiju Daddy and his group. The initial core characters, got Han and Chewie in their iconic poses, and then Vader and Obi-Wan. And then the classic version of Vader and the Stormtroopers to just be there. We haven't really got many Empire figures, so this is sort of just like as in Empire Strikes Back. So this is just an Empire shelf. Got the Criminal Underworld over here with both versions of the Mafex Boba. That is the 3rd Black Series figure I own, the Mafex 4 LOM. Looking forward to hopefully getting more of the Mafex Bounty Hunters. The SH Figuarts, I guess the 0 Royal Guards that come with the Emperor set. And then the 4th Black Series I own, one of my favourite Star Wars characters, Grand Admiral Thrawn. We've got Vader from the Kenobi series in his clean armour, and then the Emperor. Some Stormtroopers there, and then the Return of the Jedi, Boba Fett. And moving over here, this is one of my favourite displays. It's the Emperor, again part of that SH Figuarts set, along with Vader and Luke, and the SDCC convention exclusives Shadow Troopers. Coming over here, this is my Phantom Menace display. I've got the Duel of the Fates there, some battle droids, the 25th anniversary of Qui-Gon and Maul. I think that is an old, like, Attack of the Clones movie, Darth Sidious hologram. And there's Jar Jar himself. Coming over here, this is Attack of the Clones display. That's sort of inspired by the movie poster where all the clones are lined up behind Jango Fett. So I tried to do that. Both versions of the red Geonosis battle droids. And there's the Jedi at the start of the order. The exclusive clone captain. And then I think that's the early order exclusive Anakin that came with both the blue and green lightsaber and the Padme. I have 2 Anakins because there was technically 2 releases. That's why they're both there. And then here's Revenge of the Sith. There's my 5 clones there. Sort of try to put them in an action pose to show some individuality like the clones sort of got through the Clone Wars. Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting alongside there. And these are the classic versions of C-3PO and R2-D2. I've put them in this. They're technically from A New Hope, but I've put them in here just to sort of, because they both look clean in Attack of the Clones. That's Vader. I don't know if you can see it there, but he's got his dark side eyes. And I would always like that promo image from Revenge of the Sith. And then there's Dooku and Grievous. We'll be upgrading that Grievous soon to the SH Figuarts, which is out in November. And then coming down here, this is my sequel display. Not a lot of people are fan of the sequels, but I like the designs of a lot of characters. And again, I'll still collect them all because it means I can do any photography or posing. I can put them in stories that I would have liked to have seen from the sequels. But there's the unmasked Kylo Ren, along with Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma. Some more Stormtroopers. the exclusive Stormtroopers, the Heavy Gunner, and the Riot Trooper, I guess, or something. Old Han, which is a great figure. Chewie, that is the classic version from A New Hope again. But again, I moved it down here because you can't have Han without Chewie. And then the Force Awakens exclusive C-3PO and the exclusive from the Blu-ray edition BB-8. Here's The Last Jedi. It's Luke. I've got some Black Series Porgs in there. Thought that looked cool. Captain Phasma, one of the balls that came with the early pre-orders. Executioner. Luke, again. Praetorian Guards. And then Rey and Kylo with the 2 other pre-order BB droids. Not much to this one. Rise of Skywalker. Kylo, I like that design. Sith Troopers, put them in some decent poses. I pretty much copied most of those poses from the Hot Toys promo images. And then Rey with DDO, I think his name is, in the last pre-order BB-8. And lastly down here, this is the last part of my display now. I've got the first ever SH Figuarts Darth Vader, which is too small and comes with a plastic cape. But I'm a completionist, so he stays on display. I've got 2 of the SH Figuarts Scout Troopers and Speeder Bikes. They're really nice. The weight doesn't hold them up, so I've got some plastic shelves underneath to keep them propped up so they look like that. I don't know if you can tell. And then there's the last 2, or the first 2 Stormtroopers that got released too. Again, quite dated now. And sorry, my last display, this is pretty much like Rogue One and Solo. There's the Minban Troopers and the Chewie from Solo. Death Troopers with the exclusive specialist. And then the other 2 specialists, Shore Troopers and K2SO. And the Tank Commander and the Rogue One versions of the Stormtroopers. Yeah, so that's it. That's my collection, guys. I have some plans for the future. I want to probably raise all these shelves to Brotar, which come with the built-in lights. Get some display pieces for my DragonballZ collection to upgrade that. And then just more flight stands. And then possibly raise the actual Detolfs as well. Any advice, any input, any constructive input, I'd appreciate. And yeah, thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.